Okay, this is gonna be a quick video because it's that or just me losing my mind and getting too aggressive. I just heard the noise campaign of this trash next door. This shit that they contract to try to gaslight you to accept these things. First of all, let me just say this. I understand as a target individual, I'm no longer myself. They do this manipulation that's so degrading. Contracted trash are participating in trying to gaslight me to that. The contracted by actually governmental entities with issue pedophilia, and that adds everything to everything. They want me to identify with this, and I know that their job, their life right now, is to make me think that these manipulations are not happening. I'm so thankful that I've been consistently making videos about this, from the smallest to the oldest to the middle, or all these babies they've been manipulating me to have this perception toward. Matter of fact, they validate me. Because they show like you can do that to them, so you can do that to them. You can do this, like my targeting as a target individual consists of manipulation of my mind. Now unique to me, I'm not alone in this. That's how they play with your brain in this disgusting, devious, disturbing, pedophilia-centric way. Is they're using this technology as a weapon. And then on top of that, they utilize this contracted trash to try to gaslight you into that. They can use scare tactics, they can use noise campaign, aggressively, every time they manipulate you. Their goal is to, when you see yourself, to think that what you're experiencing, you should be identified with this. At this point, there's no identifying to this, I understand, and I'm not alone going through this. I'm validated that they manipulate the brain, they can manipulate the brain, and they're altering the brain. This trash, after making you experience degrading experiences, they just get like, oh, you're gonna be rotting. It's like, I'm rotting because you're manipulating my brain too. You get it? My point is, I know you manipulate my brain and rotting my body. But you try to use that to try to make me accept this manipulation. You tell me I'm gonna get raped. You say I'm gonna get raped, and just because you think I'm going to be subscriptive with that. I can be raped, tortured, cut in pieces. I'll never identify with this trash ass. Your gaslighting tactics failed. Now, if you want me to get raped because you want to make yourself believe that you weren't manipulating me, you're a fucking retard, and that's the life that you deserve to live. Excuse my language, but when I hear this trash thinking that I'll ever identify with this and tell me how I'm going to be dealing with a lot of violence doesn't change reality, trash. Whatever pain I go through, I understand that the people who made me experience this pain are the people who will be manipulating my brain too. In a way that's degrading. Matter of fact, it's a validating reality. The people who are wanting to harm me will harm me this way psychologically, mentally. I just heard the noise campaign from this clown. That know that at this point, I will never identify with this. They gotta be careful. This is a friend I went to school with back in the days. Back in the long days. I go through Facebook because you're gonna see a video about hugging. I see her with like a kid. And I know it's a kid, but they're playing with my brain to try to mess with me. They try to make me think of this kid as being like an older kid. I can tell like she's 14-year-old, around that age. But they're making me look at her in a sexual way. They do that to the younger kids. And right now, actually, in this picture, for example, it's funny, in every picture they try to make her look older. Yo. This wholesome picture of this girl, and this is her here, a baby, 13, 14-year-old kid. They were playing my brain, and I can tell, like, this is like a teenage, early teenage, not even just a teenager. Not even 50. Like immediately, it's like that's like a young teen, like just became a teen. And it's funny because as I'm knowing that, they try to create mental battles in my brain. They can implant a thought process on top of manipulating your perceptions to make you think that you're thinking this naturally. And they try to make me feel doubtful. That she's not. And it was like a true mental battle. And the thing they did that, because they want me, they create these mental battles. It's become childlike. They make me, because they're creating these mental battles where I know she's a teenage kid, a young kid too, not just a teenager in high school, like early, if she's in high school, early high school, or 14, 15. They make me look at this here. On top of there. And they say graduating middle school. Super wholesome picture. Matter of fact, at first when I saw that picture, it reminded me of my friend's oldest daughter, who's about the same age. I thought it was her. I was like, oh, look at her. I thought it was her. But they're just manipulating me in this way. This is so disgusting. And you know, in the picture when she's the mom, like they try to make her look like an older girl. It's like she's a baby, innocent child. They're playing my brain this ways. And then I hear this trash like, oh, girls, poof, they sold you trash. You know when you hear this person say these things, as they want you to be accepting of these manipulations, because they play with your brain in this ways, and then it's part of this gaslighting tactics. Can you imagine me implanting drugs? It's like, oh my gosh, you're selling drugs. That's the kind of things they do. They make you experience these things, and then they come in reverse and come like, oh yeah, girls, poof, it's disgusting. This poor innocent child. Sell your retarded kids to this program filled with ran by pedophiles. While these kids are being wholesome and living life an honorable way. You know, when I heard that, it just disturbed me so much. And then I heard the Noise campaign. Because I know that this trash at this point is like, yo, it's you making your Noise campaign, making it obvious that this is part of this cognitive warfare that I'm a test subject to, versus the validations of all nature. Target individual, you gotta be strong. These perps have no shame. They shouldn't made themselves look seen, because then you have trash like that. They come in all shape or form. This is supposed to be like the normal guy who's just an everyday kind of person that you know when you see them. And by the way, this is the retard that tell me to confirm you with. It's trash ass. Then you have people like that. It's like, oh no, you like teen, that's you into dumb shit. Target individual, stay strong. The way you're being played with, the manipulation of your mind is what it is. It's a weaponized way of altering your mind. Then they construct the clowns there that's supposed to be like, now we're mapping. They use verbiage, right? That I'm like, oh, okay, stupidity. Like, I don't know what you're doing. You're mapping, you're changing my brain in the way that you want me to experience this. I'll look at that as a wholesome thing. Like, all the people I went to school now, all have their kids and everything else. And me, I'm being manipulated in these great, disturbing ways. Forcing me to try to perceive these kids in a sexual way, and then hearing retarded children that don't even know how life is can be in danger if they come near me. Because out of the rage I have. You gotta be strong. This is the things they need to deal with. Remember, I have trash like that. They come in all shape or form, like that. Like that, who's supposed to negate this.
Are still the future implications of ESB, medical and social, are still various and vague. According to Dr. Morton Reiser, chairman of the Yale Department of Psychiatry, in which Delgado holds his appointment as professor of physiology, there are probably some frightening potentials in Delgado's work. If you can use computer technology to send an unmanned space satellite to the moon, then it doesn't seem utterly impossible that one day our computers will be sophisticated enough to be used to put thoughts into people's heads.
This is 1970, asking a question to a doctor that was working already with electrodes that can be implanted in your brain and used to stimulate your brain, and based on that, do things like that.
Been several studies of humans with implanted electrodes. One carried out by Dr. C. Sem Jacobsen in Norway with a group of patients suffering from schizophrenia and Parkinson's disease, describes ESB at different cerebral points as producing moods which ranged from feeling good to slight euphoria, to where the euphoria was beyond normal limits, and the patients laughed hilariously. During another study, a man being treated for narcolepsy, irresistible sleep attacks, was given a small self-stimulator. He kept pushing one particular button which he declared made him feel as if he were building up to a sexual climax. Pleasure is not in the skin being caressed or in a full stomach, remarks Delgado. It is somewhere inside the cranial vault.
So the basic sense of getting sexual stimulation and different euphoriatic experiences, and I'm probably saying it wrong, is the basic work. Now they play with your perception. They can manipulate your brain in ways that's so crazy. For example, for a second, they tried to make me look at this kid who's just a 13, 14-year-old kid in a sexual way. Or look at her like an adult woman so I can be manipulated to perceive her in a sexual way. And then try to create mental battles when you know, and you know that's a teenage kid, a child, a young child. Not even just even calling her a teenage kid is not even fair. Like a young teenage kid. And then having these mental battles, try to create a mental battle. It's like, no, maybe she's a high school. No, that's a young teenage kid, like middle school kid. Matter of fact, that's what she makes me think of my friend's daughter. Try to create mental battles of that nature. This baby. Truly wanting me to think that this, I was like, I know she's like a teenage kid. Like, I don't even want to call her a teenager, like a preteen, almost. That's because they're doing this.
ESV does open up possibilities for exploitation and harm. Any new technique for understanding how the brain mediates behavior could affect our lives for better or worse. Certainly, mistrust and doubt are aroused on many sides by the suggestion that thought process can be rerouted and the mind physically controlled.
Rerouted, like my brain, rewired to be forced to perceive these children in these ways, just to create this persona like, oh no, yeah, the bad girls, this child here, this baby, oh my gosh, Jesus, yo, this girl, they're trying to make me think of her like just, and even now when I see when the picture when she's standing, because her mother is always short. So when she stands next to her mother, they try to make me think of her like a high school kid, like maybe like an older kid, like 16 or so, to mess with me. She's not even that. She's probably like a 13. And you see the picture when she looked like her, the 13, 14-year-old kid that she looks like. And matter of fact, now they're like, nah, but you try to make it now. You thought she's graduating from high school. Look at this baby. And they really try to force me to think this way, creating mental battles in things that you know is falsified. Then you have these clowns here. Tell me they got raped by me, some trashy low life, and then to make me accepting of how they manipulate me today, like, oh, Snapchat, you know, trash, yes. Talking they just stay strong and look at this low life for the low life that they are. I'd rather have no life, die enough sword than live life doing these things. I'm taking them to a different hell. Talking the joke. The thankfulness I have is to being thankful that I didn't have to live life doing the fucked up, nasty things they do to people. And then have these clowns, like, you know, they think they can gaslight somebody by make noise campaign. Think they don't know themselves. And then also then these things that they know they're being manipulated to experience. It's going to be accepted, identified to. Never, to my last breath, I will never identify it. I can be cut in pieces, I can be chopped in pieces, but I'll know that I never identified to this manipulation. And they're now resulting to torture in order to make me subscribe to that. Death comes to all of us. I'm sure I'm taking these people to a hell that they don't even expect.